What's up guys, Maximilian here, back with another episode of Black Ops 2 with Maximilian. In this episode I kind of wanted to dive in and do some tests on one of my favorite perks in the Call of Duty series since its inclusion in Modern Warfare 2, and that's Hardline. Now Hardline in Black Ops 2 is a lot different than any previous Call of Duty. In every one before, it was one less kill to get to your kill streak, but now that we have score streaks, the balancing of getting your score streaks in the air is a lot different, and so is Hardline. So for you guys that might have been noticing the same thing I am and you're questioning yourself, what the hell is Hardline actually doing? Here's a quick breakdown of what it does. As an example of this, let's take a look at some of the point amounts you receive for doing certain actions in Black Ops 2. Capturing an enemy flag will net you around 200 points. Killing enemies in domination will get you around 100, or killing defenders will get you 125. And assists are worth about 50. Now, one of the more confusing things about Black Ops 2 is that the score that appears in the middle of the screen, the plus 125, the plus 200, does not actually represent the amount of experience you're receiving. That is representing the amount of score streak points that are going towards your specific score streak, and you see the score streak bar rise in the bottom right corner. Now, to make things even more confusing, when you have something like Hardline activated on your character, the points that appear in the middle of the screen aren't exactly vindicative of the points you are actually receiving. This is where I had a lot of confusion coming in. I didn't do any testing yet. I was confused the fact that, well, I have Hardline on, and I'm still getting 100 points per kill. I'm still getting 200 per cap, even with or without Hardline on, so I'm like, is this perk actually broken? Is it not doing anything? Until you actually go in and do some tests can you understand how it actually works. Now this is the weirdest thing about Hardline. The points in the middle will not actually change if you have the perk activated or not. It'll always say plus 100 for a kill if you're in domination or team deathmatch. It'll always say plus 50 for an assist or plus 125 for an attacking a defender. That never changes. However, if you take a look at the experience bar, the little score streak bar that is in the bottom right that is adding up towards your score streaks, this is where you're going to see the difference. Here's the quick example. Getting 100 points per kill in a game mode like Team Deathmatch shows that you receive just under the amount of points needed to get a UAV. A UAV costs 350 points in Black Ops 2, and it looks like the bar just doesn't reach the top, which makes perfect sense because UAVs cost 350 and you killed 3 people, giving you 300 points. But killing 3 more people with Hardline activated actually gives you the 350 point UAV. We killed the exact same people as before, and a little bit extra. The little bit extra looks like it's about 10 points, which leads me to believe that there is a 20% increase to Hardline, and other evidence was even concluding that when you actually act on enemy flags or anything that is objective based, it gives you a 25% increase, which leaves our 300 point per person kill amount giving us 360 points instead of the 300 points without Hardline. So what does this do for our gameplay, you might ask? Now that we know these stats, how do we actually get better kill streaks? Well, the first thing I would love is if Treyarch actually patched it and showed us the correct amount of points we were receiving in the middle of the screen. That would be excellent and make it a lot easier to understand. But the other thing is that now that you know this, certain actions in Call of Duty can be worth significantly more. Each kill is only about 100 points in the majority of game modes minus like kill confirmed. But for the most part, it means that out of every 5 kills, you're going to get an extra kill. But based off all the other points and all the other actions you do in Call of Duty, if you actually do really small things like shoot down a UAV, that's 75 points plus an extra 20%. Take down a bouncing Betty, you get about 50 points for that plus 20%. But if you engage in some of the most beneficial methods of getting score streaks in the game, which is what I do to get higher end kill streaks, that is things like capping an enemy flag and taking out enemies at the same time. These actions can be worth up into 500 points, which is almost half as much needed to get something like an orbital VSAT. Literally, it's absolutely crazy if you're doing something like capturing an enemy flag or running with the flag and killing people, how much it's actually worth, which really encourages people to defend flags instead of just constantly running and grabbing a flag. Sure, grabbing a flag is always good in some of those situations, but if you're the guy that's on an enemy flag and you're the only one capping, your points are going to be worth a lot more because you're attacking an enemy flag if you happen to get killed. So that's something you've got to consider. Maybe your actions against the enemy team, if you're not approaching those situations carefully, are going to be worth a lot more to the enemy team because you're doing something to their objective, especially if they have something like Hardline running. But But based off this fact and these scenarios, I found it a lot easier to get score streaks, especially with the fact that we have Hardline equipped now. Things like the VTOL warship, getting an orbital VSAT, or anything like the Swarm and Dogs isn't actually that far off from being very difficult because you know where to act on these actions. Which is why I think overall in Black Ops 2, certain game modes like Team Deathmatch have kind of been nerfed because they give you the same exact amount of points per kill, and you actually get way more points for the same kill and moving on objectives in a game mode like Domination. And that's why I like Domination, Kill Confirmed, and some of these other game modes like Hardpoint, because you end up getting your score streaks much faster by moving proactively on flags and around defending flags and things of that nature. So give it a shot. Now that you know that Hardline is actually working on the underbelly of Black Ops 2, even though it's not showing it to you, you might actually see how much of a difference it makes when acquiring score streaks. And now that I know to take out all these little things, running something like Engineer ends up being excellent for having Hardline because you get all these extra points for killing all these enemy bouncing Bettys and all this crazy shock charges and all this stuff that is everywhere, and it makes Engineer and Hardline an absolutely awesome combination together. So hopefully you guys have some more luck getting those higher end score streaks on Black Ops 2. If you'd like to check out more gameplay and commentary, check out my channel at youtube.com/miles923. We just did a quick in-depth breakdown of one of the better and if not the best gun in Black Ops 2, and also investigating some other weapons like LMGs, looking at maps and understanding how some of these crazy score streaks work and how you can get them. But yeah, check that out on my channel. Until next time, my name is Maximilian, signing out.